Hi, my name's Danielle and I'm an independent Kaszazz consultant in Tassie, and I'd like to share with you a few things about our Bellish Ezy-Press. This is our Ezy-Press. It's an A4 size die cutting machine. It comes with our pads that I use for our cutting and embossing. I've done a video, a basic overview video, so you can check that out and see what the different pads are used for. So basically our machine can lock into place, and we have plates that slide out front and back, and carry handle and a handle on the end, which is nice and easy to use. And along the front here are our basic instructions of our pad combinations, so an easy quick reference. And there are lots and lots of things you can do with it, so come and join me for a project. This is the project I'm going to share with you today. This is using a technique that I like to call stained glass. We learnt some things about it when we did team training day. So this is a project, a make and take card that I did for team training day. So this has got a similar sort of colouring on the background on the back of plastic. So I wanted to see if I could do that but with a more precise look. So this is what I came up with. And I also wanted to show you how you can cut out plastic with your Ezy-Press machine. So because it's nice to sometimes have those pieces of plastic and tags and different shapes to add a bit of something different to our projects. So I'll show you how to cut out the plastic first, and then we'll do the stained glass. Okay, so we're going to cut out our tag. We've got our base pad A, and I find that you need to add a couple of shims, so just your regular copy paper onto there, like so. I just find that it doesn't cut through the plastic enough if I don't. I'm just going to put our plastic sheet on top, making sure that your cutting side is up, of course, and using a cutting pad D, and I'm going to roll that through. Now, if you find that it is too hard to turn, you may have too many shims and you need to reverse your stack and just take one of the shims out. Or if when you go through and you find that it hasn't cut enough for you to take it out, then you may need to add an extra shim. And I'm just going slowly to make sure that it cuts through. It is definitely easy to turn. Okay, let's have a look. Now your dies sometimes will stick into your pad. You have a butter knife and pull them off if they're really difficult. Okay, now this one has cut through enough. It is still a little bit attached, but if we put any more shims, I think it might be too thick for this one. So what I'll just do is I'm just going to ease it out. And because it has actually cut, I can just ease it out. I don't know if you can see that very well on camera or not, but I can just ease it out like so. Much better than adding an extra shim that we don't need and putting extra pressure on the machine. And of course, that little hole, that could be a little bit fiddly. If you need, you might need to get a little knife to sort of start it off. And I can just pop that out. Okay, so there's our tag. And so it's really nice that we can cut our plastic with our Ezy-Press, because we can cut those thicker items. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do our stained glass technique. Okay, so to do our stained glass technique, we need to stamp first. So I've stamped the Ladybugs and the Dare to Dream stamp, both with Stays On. So I'll do that now. So this is our Stays On ink. It's a permanent ink and great for stamping on any surface, and especially plastic. It does come with a little protective cover. Make sure you keep it, because that helps to stop the ink pad from drying out, because it is such a quick drying ink. Now, when you're stamping on plastic, you need to be really careful that you don't move your stamp, because the ink is wet and slippery and your plastic is really slippery. It can slip and slide. So you just need to be careful as you're stamping. So just straight down and back up again. I can stamp on the bottom of my tag. Okay, I'm going to turn that around and do it again at the top. And a good thing about Stays On that it doesn't take long to dry. So it's just such a versatile, fantastic ink. I'm so glad that we have it in Kaszazz now. Stamp that down. Okay, and I'm going to do our Dare to Dream. This is from our Family and Friends word montage set. Okay. This is the one that, if I'm going to stuff up something, it's the last stamp I do. That's just the way that it seems to happen for me. Okay, I'm just going to centre that, and I'm going to stamp it. Look at that, perfect. Okay, so that'll just take a few seconds to dry. So I'll set that to the side. So while that's happening, I'm going to organise our colours that we're going to do the colouring in of our ladybugs and flowers. I've just got a little palette that I got from from Chicken Feed, our sort of cheap post store. You can use a piece of plastic or anything really. And what you're going to need to do is you need your glossy accents, and you're going to need to put a little puddle in 2 spots. So I'll just do that. Okay. So you can see our 2 little puddles. And then I'm going to use our vivid re-inkers. So I'm going to use red and yellow, and I'm just going to put 1 drop in. Okay, just 1 drop, you don't need much. So 1 of red into the red one, and 1 of yellow into the yellow one. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab my paper piercer. Paper piercers are so versatile. I'm just going to mix in that glossy accents and that re-inker, so that it's all mixed in. So effectively you've got red glossy accents. Okay. Mix all of that in. Just wipe it off with a cloth. And do a yellow. Now I found the paper piercer was much easier to do this than a paintbrush, because I could get such a much finer point, and plus paintbrush tended to clog up a bit. Okay, so that's nicely mixed. Okay, now our Saison should be nice and dry now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the paper piercer, the end of the paper piercer, to pick up a little bit of the glossy accent and vivid mix. And I'm actually going to then colour in the back side of my images. And after a while you get quite quick at it, just colouring in those little wings and spread it around. If I was using a paintbrush, I wouldn't have the control that I do of the paper piercer. I can turn it around so I can get right out to the edges, because you don't want to go over the edges, but because it's plastic you will see it. Okay. And up into his head. Okay. So we're going to colour in all of our ladybugs that way. And our flowers, what I did with those, get some yellow, and because these are a lot smaller, you will find that you won't need as much of your glossy accents. So I'm just colouring in the flower. Now if you had an image that you had lots of different colours that you want to do, it might be wise to let each colour dry, because you don't want to mix them together, because they will start to get a sort of a runny thing in the middle. I'm just going to add a tiny dot of red into the centre of my flower, just so that it sort of gives a more orange effect into the centre there. Okay, and what I'll do, of course that's still wet, it'll take about 10-15 minutes to dry once you've finished them all, and depending on how thick it is. So you can see that on the back side there, it is sort of like, it has a little raised up bubble, but on the right side it's that really nice stained glass look. So I'll finish colouring them all in, and then I'll be done. And then once you're done, I've just tied a piece of ribbon through the top, and it's ready to go. So you can create lots of little clear embellishments, so then you could cut them out or anything like that, and so you've got that really nice clear embellishment. And then the fact that we can use our Ezy-Press to cut out our plastic is also fantastic. So what I did, I went ahead and I thought, okay, what else can I cut out? And I decided to cut out one of our bag dies. I'll just move these things from under here so you can see. This is our bag, so a little bag that we can open up and put things into. I actually cut it out with plastic, so with our Ezy-Press. So this would make a lovely party favour, or a little present. Fill it up with some lollies or a gift. And where I stuck the plastic, I've just added my flowers that I've created, and put some on the back as well. But I've only stamped on one side because it is see-through. It will be a bit much. So I'd really like to see what you can all do with the Ezy-Press and some plastic. It's great fun, but do remember to just be careful with your shims and that sort of thing, and don't put any pressure on your machine. If you have any questions, I'd really love to hear them, and I look forward to your creations. Thanks! Thanks for watching my video today. I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions for me, you can post them at the bottom of the video, or you can contact me at my blog, www.danielleskaszazz.blogspot.com. If you have any questions for Kaszazz, or you'd like to be put in touch with a local consultant, you can contact them on 1800 649 191, or you can contact them via the website www.kaszazz.com, and you can be put in touch with a local consultant and see all the great products on the website as well. Thank you very much for your time.